There's a simple reason thousands of businesses are generating millions from cold email with straightforward scripts, while you still struggle to get a positive reply in spite of complex personalizations. And it has nothing to do with your skill as a copywriter and everything to do with the data you use. I'm Mitchell Keller, and I've scaled over 100 businesses over the last 4 years and sent millions of cold emails. In this video, I'm going to teach you the 3 biggest mistakes 90% of SDRs and marketers make with their cold copy, how to write kick-ass cold email copy even as a beginner copywriter, and 18 campaign angles you can use to get your next 3 clients. And of course, you're also going to learn the age-old question, does size matter? Relating to copy, of course. But in all seriousness, I know I tend to drone on too long in these videos and that most people only watch 3 to 5 minutes. So what I want to do this time around is make sure that everyone gets a ton of value right off the bat. So I'm going to tell you the number one thing that you need to take away from this video right away. The number one thing you need to take away from this video is that all good copywriting stems from a great lead list. Everything we talk about is going to be about instilling that belief in you and showing you how to source a great lead list and why a great lead list easily turns into great copy, whether you're a good copywriter or not. I have no formal copywriting experiences. I've taken like 0 courses. Maybe I've watched a few videos, and I'm able to create great campaigns that get clients on a regular basis for myself and for my clients, as well as friends. So if that's the only thing you take away from this video and you want to leave now, take that to heart. But let's dive into why. That's what we're going to be discussing, and a few ways that you can start putting it into action very easily on your next campaign. So there's 3 things that are going to destroy your copy before you ever hit send. That's bad lead lists. Because if you have a bad lead list, no matter how good your offer is, if you're sending it to the wrong person, it's garbage. And no matter how good your copy is, you could be the best copywriter in the world. It's going to be garbage if you're not sending it to the right person because they will not resonate. It will not be relevant. Have you ever sent a campaign and people are often like, this doesn't relate to me. I don't need that. I don't have that position on my team. I'm not that type of business. Anything like that. We'll go into more of those later. But if you've received those, it's probably because your lead list sucks. And it's probably because as a result of that, you cannot find a relevant or valid reason for reaching out to them. Without this, you're going to come off as spammy. And if you come off as spammy, guess what? You're going to reduce your deliverability. Your future campaigns are going to be less likely to hit the primary inbox. You're going to have to buy new domains. You're going to cost yourself a ton of money. And you're just not going to get clients from cold outreach. The last thing is using fluffy personalization. This stuff, I'll be honest, has worked in the past. One of my best campaigns, 18 months ago, hinged around personalizing based off locations. I would scrape Google Maps. I would use AI to take action on the information. And I would pick one golden nugget location that only a person who lived there would know about. I avoided franchises. I avoided all that nonsense. And I would pick out like a restaurant or a landmark. And lo and behold, I would get average like 2% positive reply rates just because people are like, oh my gosh, like you know Dallas so well. No one knows about that. My 100,000 person town so well. Let me talk to you. The reason that stuff doesn't work anymore is because anything that is more of a hack and not fundamental to how you do outreach isn't going to last forever. These hacks, these gimmicks, they're not what you want to focus on. You want to focus on heuristics, targeted lead lists, great lead lists with powerful data points that tell you the intent of your prospect are always going to be way more important long-term than these hacks. So, this hack worked for a bit, but now it doesn't because people know that AI can do this. So now if you were to do this exact same campaign, even 6 months later, like forget now, 6 months after I first started doing it, people understood that AI could do this. So now it feels like you're trying to trick them, right? It feels dishonest. You look like a sleazeball. And, you basically never want to come off as a Jordan Belfort type these days where you're trying to like, by any means possible, trick them into buying your product. You want to go a more honest Jeremy Minor route with everything that you do. And really just, focus on that one truth, which is to help people. And without a good lead list, you can't help people. So All of these problems really stem from a bad lead list. And as a bonus, you're not going to get terrible templates from this video. Templates are meaningless. They really are. No matter how good the template is, if your lead lists suck, you're not going to get results. So focus on the 20% that's going to have 80% of the value. Focus on the lead list. Again, this is the number one thing from this video. Let's continue. We want good data so we don't have to be good copywriters. We want to avoid responses like this, okay? We never want responses like this. The reason we don't is because it forces us to go to spam and because they don't make us money. And the cause of this is that data is what breeds relevance. If you know that a person has a problem based on your data, and you know that a specific job title has a problem, you can tailor your copy to make it more relevant, to avoid making vast assumptions based on a business, right? Everyone needs leads. That doesn't mean you should reach out to every business with lead generation, for example. So make sure you don't have bad data, one. Make sure you're not making terribly huge assumptions, and you'll avoid irrelevant campaigns and you'll avoid bad responses. There's 4 main questions you need to answer for clean copy prior to ever pulling a list. You need to know why you're contacting them. You need to know why you're contacting them right now. Combined, these really are your angle. And I'm going to show you a ton of angles that you can try out to land your next 3 clients, because angles, really thinking in angles and getting creative, is going to help you stand out from the crowd. It's going to make sure that you're relevant. It's going to make sure that your lead list is awesome. And it's going to make sure that you don't have to be a prize-winning copywriter. You know, you don't need to be David Ogilvy. You know, you don't have to buy these crazy expensive courses. You're just going to know what they want based on the data, and you're going to send them what they want. Simple. Number 3, you need to know that you need to tell them what's in it for them. At every moment of your copy, you should either be providing value or piquing curiosity. The way you pique curiosity off the bat is answering the why you and why now. I saw you were hiring for this position. I saw you recently started this position. I just helped a company just like you do XYZ. Here's a lead magnet on how we did it. Do you think this is relevant to you? Should I send it over? Right? These are all things that are piquing curiosity. Oh man, wow, that is a company just like mine. That's crazy. But you can only do that if you have a great lead list with companies just like your case study. And there's an example of one angle that immediately answers all the questions you need to answer. And then finally, as a bonus, and actually one of the most powerful heuristics to cold email and cold outreach in general, is how often are these people being outreached to with anything similar? So if you're pulling from Apollo, one, you're probably not getting a super targeted lead list unless you really, really have an understanding of your market and the way they present themselves on LinkedIn, basically. So do your research there. I have a video on how you can take an iterative approach to list building. And really, I have a free cold email course that's slowly being built out over time. You can check that playlist on my channel to learn about lead magnets and everything else. So how often are these people being outreached to? Is huge. It's actually the number one thing that Hormozi talked about in his video with Instantly that went pretty dang viral after he dropped $100 million leads. He said the harder the lead is to find, the better the result. And that holds true. Here's a campaign that I did where I had to basically map a market myself. It's a whole bunch of single player game developers and their founders. I had to scrape news PR articles to find the lead developers of these games to make sure I'm reaching out to the person that actually developed the game and not just a new person that joined the team or the studio afterwards, if the game was, older than 3 years old. I had to find their websites because there was no database with their websites. And what ended up happening is I actually found 90% of the market that wasn't on Apollo, that wasn't on LinkedIn, that wasn't available to me on these databases. And picture this. You send someone a super relevant offer. You know exactly who they are, how they think. And they only receive one of those a week, a day, instead of hundreds in their inbox all the time. Do you think that person's going to be more likely to respond? Do you think that person's more likely to respond pleasantly? I had a colleague of mine in the lead generation space, or I guess more like a competitor, but I really view them as colleagues because I think, it's an ocean out there and everyone can win. And he mentioned how someone told him to F off and that he already told them no, and he had never reached out to them before. That is a byproduct of the fact that they're reached out to often, and they're reached out to with similar offers, and you get mixed in with the noise. The way to stand out from the noise is with these, but if you can avoid the noise in general, that is even better. So 50% of your campaigns will start with an angle, and the other 50% will start with an offer or lead magnet. What do I mean? Sometimes you're like, dang, I just figured out the craziest offer or lead magnet for this niche. Like, I'm just going to give these guys so much value they can't say no. Great. That's an angle. That's literally an angle. You can be like, yo, I see you're in this position. I want to give you 1,000 leads for your SDRs at no cost, right? That's crazy. I see you don't have a website. I'm going to give you a website. Can I just give you a website? Would that be all right with you? That's nuts. Are you serious? No charge? The other times, it's going to start with an angle, and you might build your lead magnet around that. It's going to inform your lead magnet, right? Let's walk through an example, super quick. Your angle is that you noticed a keyword inside their job post. And you can do this at scale with tools like Clay and a few, rapid APIs, as well as some LinkedIn searches. So you notice in their job post that they're hiring an app developer, an app programmer, a mobile developer, anything of the sort. And you notice the keyword that they're specifically developing an app on Android. Awesome. That's amazing. Do they have anyone in this position on their team? No, it's the first time. Amazing. You found an angle. All of a sudden, you're like, you know what? I'm going to send them a lead magnet of the top 5 cybersecurity issues that we found in Android apps that they need to steer clear of over the last 30 days. And if they want, we'll walk them through how to make sure that it doesn't happen to their app as they develop it. Boom, foot in the door. You've provided a lead magnet that is relevant to your angle, and you're going to have a great opportunity to show relevance and do everything that we talked about. And that all stemmed from having a great lead list that started with an angle. Your angle informed who you were going to scrape, and it informed your offer and lead magnet. And that relevance will get your foot in the door and help you upsell to a client. Oh, you don't have a cybersecurity person on this team? No way. Why don't we just do it for you to make sure your app is smooth and is successful? Heuristic. Every great campaign starts with a great lead list and a great idea and builds from there. Get creative. That angle only stems from your creativity. We're going to try to solve for creativity as we move on to the next section, where we're going to go through a bunch of angles that you can apply to your campaigns to start winning right now and getting clients. So here's a few things that you can do to take your copy to the next level. Start with a specific angle, prey on pain points based on the position, the individual. A company is just a made up thing. They don't have pain points, okay? Companies literally don't exist. What is Apple? Apple's a bunch of people. It's a legal document. It's imaginary. A business is an imaginary thing. Stocks, they're imaginary things. It's funny to say, but they really are. Even the value of money is just an agreed upon thing. These things don't matter. The thing that matters is the desires and pain points and the fears of the individual. Focus on that. And, praying, I actually don't like this as a word. Focus on helping them, but make them understand why they need the help. That's more what it is. Providing a relevant lead magnet, using a frictionless CTA. You can learn all this in 100 other videos, so I'm not going to spend too much time on that. But using triggers that can really, really reduce their stress for your offer. So if you're an offer that is an automation offer, if you're an offer that relies on a specific tool set, or if your offer often can feel like, it only matters if you can integrate with a specific tool set, you need to enrich that technographic. You need to tell them that you can integrate seamlessly with Google Analytics. Oh, by the way, I see you're using Google Analytics. We integrate seamlessly with that. Oh, by the way, we'll integrate seamlessly with your CRM HubSpot. Oh, by the way, don't worry. We actually are fully integrated with all WordPress websites, right? These triggers are going to matter a lot to your prospect because it lets them know that the problems that come to mind aren't even relevant. You're dismissing them before they even think of them, or if they think of them, bam, you've solved for that pain point and you can move forward. So last thing is that social proof wins all. If you have a case study that can answer, or if you have a case study, you're answering all 3 main questions immediately. And if you can hit a lead list and the case study is in an industry that is untapped, Bob's your uncle, you're probably going to book like 50 meetings and 500 emails. That is the golden ticket. That is like the Midas touch of cold email right there, a recipe for success. As a warning, all of this is irrelevant if you don't know your market, period. If you don't know your market, if you don't know the desires, you're kind of doomed. You can make assumptions, right? But you need to understand your market, or else your offer doesn't matter anyway. You don't have product market fit, and cold emails are the least of your problem at that point. So, by the way, if you want done for you lead generation, B2B, to help you get clients using these principles that I'm talking about, or if you just want it to be installed into your business so that you can have perfect lead lists like this, feel free to click the button below and we can discuss it for your business. And, you know, of course, on a pay per meeting basis, on a performance basis. So yeah, just wanted to get that in there. How do we compile everything we need for great copy? Research and preparation, aka how you source the list. So I love Sun Tzu. I love The Art of War. He's got great insights into marketing and sales. He's talking about war, but he's really talking about everything. He's talking about life. Every battle is won before it is fought. Every campaign is successful before you ever send an email. And it starts with the lead list. It is the preparation. So we've kind of discussed these rules already. You know, focus on one angle, a job title. Make sure your lead magnet is a precursor to your service. You can see videos on that on my page. Let's talk about angles. So let's talk about the main angles you should be trying out right away. If you're attending an event that is related to your industry, contact everyone attending that event. Scrape it. You can use Phantom Buster, TextAU, Sales Navigator, all sorts of things. You can scrape the main page that's hosting the event. It just depends on where it's being hosted and how they've gone about the marketing, but you get the idea. You need to scrape that event. You need to contact those individuals. Why? You scraping the event makes you a real person that has spent money to attend something. It's kind of like when you see someone in an ad. They've spent money to be there. There's a lot more trust immediately. So you're bridging the gap of trust. They'll believe you, right? It's a super warm intro, and you can likely meet them in person. You're getting a meeting basically right off the bat by saying that you're attending the event and you want to link up and chat. Let's talk about each other's businesses. So that's number one. That's a super powerful angle. Another powerful angle is that if they've attended an event on LinkedIn. So not an in-person event, but an out-of-person event. Hey, I saw you attended this event on B2B lead generation. Are you maybe trying to solve some problems with your lead generation? You can probably make that assumption, can't you? Any event related to your industry, just go search LinkedIn, use TextAU, use Sales Navigator, use Phantom Buster, whatever you want. Scrape the people attending, message them, be like, hey, I saw you're attending this event as well. Pro tip, remove the person hosting the event. They never want to receive a message that shows that people are targeting people in their events. It'll probably upset them. And you never want to upset people, right? So take that time. And then, of course, case studies. The more case studies you have relevant to one particular niche, the more you can just create lookalike lead lists and send them the case study and be like, hey, what do I have to do to show you that I can help you a ton, right? Like, honestly, I have done it for 5 companies. Why can't I do it for you? Super simple. You've answered all the questions right there. So there's 3 super powerful ones. Try one of those. A 4th one that you can consider trying is niche groups. If they have a niche group, and if that niche group is related to the problem that you solve, you have found a way to immediately answer the why you why now. You found an immediate angle, and you can send them a lead magnet to perpetuate solving that problem, get them along the way towards solving that problem, providing value, or just going straight to a call. Now, the other angle and the other facet is, finding leads that are hard to find. That lead list I mentioned earlier, I scraped Steam database. I went through this hectic process to really lock in and find all those companies. Another instance, you're targeting publishers. You scrape Goodreads. You find their personal emails. Not publishers, authors. You scrape Goodreads. You find the top authors. You're like, hey, I want to help you with PR for your next book. Or maybe, I don't know, Dr. Disrespect. You've got these guys getting in trouble for contacting minors, these absolute idiots, these creeps. maybe, you know, if you have no morals, you're trying to find these guys and you're contacting them because they probably have a PR nightmare. But actually don't do that, because one thing you never want to do is prey on someone's downfall, right? That's never going to turn out for you. It sounds like a good idea, but if someone's actually in a sticky situation, that's really, really just a bad situation, they got hacked or something, you never want to contact them for that reason, because you seem like a vulture. But that's just a funny example, you know? Those are obscure niches. Those are obscure ways to help people. You know, maybe it's not relevant to you, but those are the types of things you want to do. You want to find underserved people that are hard to find through niche databases like that, and enriching them into people. And sometimes that can be complicated. If you need help with that, contact me. That's what we're very good at. Really, we build super targeted lead lists here. That wouldn't be on a performance basis, obviously, but if you work with us on a performance basis, that's what we do. So some others are here. Take a look at them. Niche groups, recently raised funding, certain amount of website visitors, technologies. They were funded by a specific company, and you know that that specific company helps them or doesn't help them with specific things. Here's one that's funny. That's actually from Cody Schneider. He's been helping specifically Shopify businesses index a bunch of pages. There are so many options, guys. Get creative, but try those first 4 that I mentioned. So here's the thing. A lot of these can be triggers as well, but let's just talk about like intent. So if you know someone uses Salesforce and you're really good at handling Salesforce, and you know that they use ConvertKit on their website for forms, they're probably using it to capture people. And if they're capturing people and they're actively hiring an SDR, they're probably looking to generate leads, like they're trying to close people. And if they have over 5,000 website visitors, we're getting complicated here, bear with me. If they've got over 5,000 website visitors, maybe they have good lead flow. Maybe you help them take form fills on the website and filter them into only their best contacts, like their qualified best contacts. Their SDRs don't waste time on ones that don't matter, ones that are unqualified, right? And you put them straight into their Salesforce CRM because you integrate with that. So their SDRs are able to get those people onboarded to the tool, right? Your copy might look something like this, and I'm already seeing mistakes in this because I rushed through this. Saw your hiring job title on LinkedIn right now and thought it might make sense to reach out. Wondering if you're doing anything to decrease the amount of time your SDRs are spending on unqualified leads. Put together a system to take your engaged leads from ConvertKit, score them based on ICP, and automatically add them to Salesforce for that SDR name. Pick one on the team, right? You can enrich this through Clay. In 15 minutes, they can start hitting quarterly quota. Boom. Super bespoke offer. Super bespoke service, and you could offer to do it for free and then upsell to something that is better for you on a recurring basis, because obviously no one wants one-time services. Can I send you a short video going over how it works? So you can see how the lead list really informed the copy here and made something super duper targeted. And this doesn't take any skill, guys. This really doesn't take any skill, any copywriting skill. This is what data-driven copy is all about. You're just using what you have at hand, the information you have at hand, and then putting something together coherent that does not have a bunch of jargon. To be honest, even engaged leads normally would be too much jargon, but if I'm sending this to sales directors, boom, you know, they're going to know exactly what that is. So some other things, final tips here. Spin tax the heck out of your campaigns. Use GPT or Claude to generate your spin tax. They do a great job. And then throw it into MailMeteor to make sure that you don't have any spam words so that you're delivering. Great copy, great lead lists are going to do nothing if you're littering it with spam words that are just going to throw you out of the inbox. And then finally, the question you're most excited to hear the answer to is, does size matter? Should your copy be short? Should it be long? What should you do? She looks excited about long copy. So the answer is both. Always try both. Sometimes one sentence campaigns absolutely rip. In fact, one of my best campaigns right now is just a single sentence that is just a lead magnet. That's it. That's all it is. The lead magnet's super relevant because of the lead list. This same lead magnet would not work in any other lead list, but it's working great on this lead list. So take your time with it. Sometimes your lead magnet is so damn good that's all you have to send, and the rest can be accomplished through sales processes. Do 2 angles. one that's long and drawn out, one that's extremely short and value-based, and find out which one is working better. Usually, if you're going the long route, you're probably going to hammer them with a bunch of case studies. If you're going the short route, you probably have such a no-brainer offer. It's just impossible to say no, period. Like, it's just so helpful to that niche. Avoid jargon right at a 5th grade level. And that is about it. Let's recap. So what makes great copy? It all starts with a great lead list. You can get that from niche LinkedIn groups. You can score the leads from there. You can do lookalike campaigns to case studies. We talked about that. You got to understand your market. You got to use data as your ally to write the copy. You need a great lead magnet. See my video on that. Make sure it's a precursor to your offer. It can be free. It can be not free, but make sure it feels like something truly valuable. Sometimes it can just be a loom. I love looms. Looms work great. It shows your competence. They take a lot of time. It should include a simple, actionable CTA. Action is writing call to action. Make sure it's actionable. It needs programmatic testing, and you need to write at 5th grade level. Formats to try: call out problem, say your personalized solution, throw a case study in, have a call to action. Other formulas to try: hit them with a lead magnet. Other formulas to try: hit them with a no-brainer offer. Honestly, I just threw this in there. Don't worry about templates. Don't worry about formulas. Just write based on how much you know your industry. That's going to matter way more. Peace.